Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
I'm sat alone in a boggy marsh, totally motionless except for her heart. Mud flowed up into lumps.
Let's see. So do you start the show or do I start the show? Who talks first?
I don't think any of us have to talk. In a way, I think we could just, as a form of protest, just have some quiet time maybe where we don't do anything.
I don't think that's a good idea. This is a podcast. It's an audio medium. Doesn't really work
See,
well.
but you don't think people would respect the fact that it's like they'll think that their podcast player isn't playing correctly, and they'll go up and they'll play with their sound settings. For you Apple folks, you'll go to your sound and haptics tab. You'll play around with it a little bit. You'll check and make sure that you don't have like silent mode on. People will kind of be screwing with it. And then what we should do is be quiet for a long time and then talk in like mid-sentence, just continue on and then stop again. And they'll constantly think like that something's wrong with their audio.
So if I was talking like this and I just,
yeah, exactly. Yes.
And the rash on my balls was really bad. Yeah, no, it was really, really bad. How you been, man?
I've been okay. I've been really interested in what's going on in the world. We don't really like to bring up too much politics, but crazy shit's happening. Which is kind of interesting. And basically, I know everyone's gonna have their own spin on it, and I will say before we can get on to more funner stuff, Trump needs to be removed out of office physically at this point. I don't care if there's 13 days left. Remove the guy physically out of office. Use the 25th Amendment or anything you have at your disposal. And the people who acted the way they acted yesterday, I think should be under arrest.
I do too.
However, I also think all the people who pulled this shit all summer long and all fall long should have also been arrested. And I'm frustrated that just like weeks ago, it was okay to protest. It was okay to burn businesses down. It was okay to smash shit, rip down statues, do whatever, because they were just protesting. And I understand that. I'm definitely not saying what happened was good, because I think and literally everyone should be in prison at the moment, including probably Trump. But I just short memory from everyone, because literally going in and ripping shit down was totally acceptable. In fact, it was ignored by the media as recently as like 3 days ago. And as far as storming government buildings, they stormed it in Minnesota, they stormed it in Chicago, they stormed it in Portland, the left-wing protesters have been storming government buildings for the past 10 months. It's happened numerous times. So my thing is, everyone needs to be arrested, but it also should have been an issue that this shit has been going on for all summer long with the other side pulling this nonsense. So whatever.
Well, we're all kind of under house arrest without the bracelet, in a sense, with this COVID.
Yeah, right. Except for the people who want to go out and start shit, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, those guys, not even those guys, those girls. Do you see some of the pictures of like 40 or middle-aged people just like walking through? Like how they think that that's okay. I mean, not like they're all on camera. They could literally get them all. It's not that hard.
I know it's not that hard. It's so funny because like I used to pull a lot more shit when I was younger and all that. But I don't know about you, but if I'm driving and I pull up next to I pull up to a stoplight and there's a cop there in the next lane, I like turn down my radio. I sit up a little straighter in my seat. I make sure my seatbelt is buckled. I'm not, just because I don't want to start any shit, right? And meanwhile, you got people literally like on camera stealing the seal of the presidential seal and like
On a
all of this
podium,
weird
yeah.
shit at a podium, and they're just like, yeah, I don't care if the camera sees me, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, my sphincter tightens up when a cop pulls up next to me at a stoplight, but these people are like, I don't know if they just got big balls or if they're stupid or probably a little bit of both.
A lot of both, probably, because of the person that said it and they followed him. They're like lemmings. I wish he would just say, "Go run off a cliff." We'd be a lot
there you
better
go,
off.
right? Hey, it would reduce traffic on the freeway. All right, let's talk about more fun things. Let's talk about some other big news things that are equally as important. They are the biggest news stories of the year so far, which you could say because it's only a few days into the year. How about Alec Baldwin's wife? Hilaria Baldwin, which, by the way, let's take a moment to point out how funny that name is. It's hilarious.
Let's also point out, I thought you had some sort of typo or something in your text that you sent me, so I looked up something else, and I'm like, I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Yeah. So Hilaria Baldwin, it kind of goes into and the next two stories I want to talk about, actually back to back, are cancel culture, this continuation of cancel culture nonsense. This particular one, she was on video, and they said that as she was talking, she kind of had a Latina accent, like she was Eva Mendes or freaking Jennifer Lopez or something like that. And she talking like Rosie Perez in My Cousin Vinny.
Or White Man Can't Jump. She
or
was
White
in
Man
My Cousin Vinny.
No, not White Man. Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
Well, that was more of a New York accent. But yes, no, you're right. You're right. On White Man Can't Jump. That accent, that like, whatever. Anyways, so they said because she talked in an accent that's cultural appropriation, and they're trying to cancel culture her. And of course, because it's Alec Baldwin, he snaps back and tells them to go fuck themselves or whatever. But they're losing sponsorships because of it. There's apparently a controversy. There was this she had a partnership with a baby care company, and they dropped her from that. And
wow.
It's like she literally just kind of had a little bit of an accent, the way you would say enchilada or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's being canceled over it.
See, now that's totally whack. And this goes back. Again, the whole year's been crazy, but remember, which I think it was 2020, Kevin Hart was attacked for some joke he made like in 1999.
Yes.
And it's like, I understand cultural appropriation and all that stuff, but I mean, there's got to be some like just pay attention to the people that are bad and mean and stop worrying about all of the shit. It's like, what the hell? Yeah,
listen, my favorite is the headline, and I'm reading you from I don't know what newspaper this is. Oh shit, I just see the headline. I don't see the newspaper. Hilaria Baldwin, the self-identified Spanish wife of actor Alec Baldwin, has been outed as just a basic white woman from Massachusetts.
Oh man.
So think about it. She's being outed as if being a white woman from Massachusetts is a bad thing. And that's like the craziness of this whole thing.
I have mad respect for her though, because I just Googled her right now, and it says the first line, it says Hilaria Lynn Baldwin is an American podcaster.
Ooh, there you go. That's the first description.
Yeah,
ever.
it does. It says podcaster, author, and yoga instructor.
Well, so that leads me into, because these are both of these stories are kind of connected, and I wanted to get your kind of thoughts on both of them.
Okay.
And actually, before I move on, I want to bring up Hilaria Baldwin. So I'm thinking of this accent thing, right?
Okay.
And I thought, wait a minute, didn't Madonna talk in a fake British accent for like 20 years?
Yeah.
I mean, don't you remember that? Like between like 1991 and like 2011 or something like that, Madonna was full on, "Hi, I'm Madonna and I am British." Like she full on had the Cockney British accent for 20 years. No one gave a shit. And then this lady like kind of has a slight accent for 10 seconds on a video, and she's like demonized for it. Anyway.
Well, I have a question for you. If that's the case, then we should be talking to people that are in movies and that are English, like John Boyega in Star Wars. He does an English accent. Is that culturally inappropriate?
I love it when you struggle with big words. Well, that leads me to my second one, because it's literally the same story. It just happened to a man in this case. Have you heard the story about Bean Dad? Is what he's being called.
No, but please go on while I Google.
Yes, believe me, it took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on. So Bean Dad is what he's being called now. His name is John Roderick. Okay. And John Roderick is kind of an indie musician, rocker kind of thing. And he does a podcast with the Jeopardy winner, Ken Jennings. So they have a dual podcast together. Okay. So he tweets out this photo. And by the way, this one is the one that pisses me off the most because this guy did nothing wrong. But he posts a picture of his daughter, who's, I can't remember her age, but she's young. So she's maybe like 5 years old or something like that.
Okay.
5 or 6 years old. Daughter was whining for something. She wanted food. And he said, here's a can of beans. And then she said, how do I open it? And he said, there's a can opener, figure it out. And he was cataloging this on Twitter as this like epic kind of journey of his daughter. He wasn't going to help her. He wasn't going to tell her how it was done. He was going to make her figure it out on her own.
Okay.
And he was kind of documenting it. So he's taking pictures of her like banging it with the can opener and she can't figure out how to use it. And every time she asked for help, he just said, figure it out. And he would take pictures. And she got angry and she would storm off and then she would come back and try again. And it was kind of this cute journey. He was trying to just to show her how to do it instead of whining for someone else to do it.
Yeah.
So everyone started attacking him, saying it's a child. People actually called the cops on him, saying it was child endangerment. He said, this took place over the course of 4 hours. My daughter was fine, not eating for 4 hours. It's like the equivalent of waiting from lunch to dinner, but they called the cops on him. Well, then it got worse because once he made the news, they started digging through every tweet, every Facebook post he's ever sent. And they said, 4 years ago, you made a joke. You made a joke on Twitter that was racist. And if you read the joke, you can obviously tell that it was a joke. I can't remember exactly, but it was something like he said, like, quit being a little bitch, or it was something like that. It really was not, he was replying to someone, but it was taking a tweet from 3 years ago. So they call him a bad father. They call Child Protective Services and the police on him because he wouldn't give his daughter food, but it was a kind of a Twitter joke and he's watching her struggle with the can opener. And then they dig through old tweets and they cancel him. And same with Hilaria Baldwin. He is probably going to have to end his podcast with Ken Jennings. He's deleted his Twitter account completely.
Yeah, I saw that.
He has had to come out and like apologize and promise that he would take like parenting classes and just everything that's going. I mean, that is the one that pisses me off like an absolute ton because the guy was literally just doing something. He even said, he came back on Twitter and said, you don't know how my daughter and I's relationship is. We goof around like this all the time. You don't know me. And he literally had people calling the cops on him.
I've done that same shit. I'll be honest with you. I was in New York with Julene and
I'm going to dig up some old tweets of you.
Oh, it's great. There's tweets and posts and everything. But it wasn't anything bad. I just handed her my phone and I said, okay, find Olive Garden. And we're in Times Square. She's walking around. She's looking at her phone. She's backwards. She's trying to walk. She's going this way. We went down this way. We ran into the Hamilton Theater. We walked this way, did something else over here. She goes, I don't know where it's at. And I go, stop looking at the phone. Literally. There's this giant 3-story Olive Garden, the biggest sign in the world, just a half a block away from Times Square that you cannot miss. And she's like, oh, screw you.
Well, but you were teaching her something, right? You were basically saying, figure it out yourself. We as parents nowadays, too often, solve the problem for our kids.
Yep.
Oh, you're stuck on this homework problem? Let me give you the answer. Oh, you can't figure out how to do this? I'm going to do it for you. All this guy was doing was saying, she came to me whining and wanted me to do it for her. And I said, I'm going to wait here until you figure it out. And he was absolutely lambasted for it. And I don't know. It's so frustrating to watch this cancel culture stuff continue because it's funny how the only people who really have to pay a price, it's never the people who throw out accusations or cause the problems. And you could be canceled. It used to be if you were famous, they can kind of come after you. Now it could be your guy down the street and you could make this person go viral. Like that poor girl a few weeks ago that lost her college entrance stuff because she sang the lyrics to a rap song when she was 13 and it had the word nigger in the lyrics. And this guy saved the video, waited till she applied to college 4 years later, then sent out the video and made it go viral and said she's a racist because she used that word when she was singing along to a song. So this is the kind of, so now it's literally like happening to anyone and everyone.
See, and I'm one of those guys where if I do something like that, I'm not going to apologize. Like, it's just going to be that simple. I'm just going to not be online. I'm not online that much anyway. Obviously, you are quite a bit because I see you tweeting all the time.
I'm supposed to be working.
I know, but that's, again, you're also in the alcohol business, which has its perks.
It has its perks. Right.
But no, it is garbage. It's totally garbage. You have to walk on eggshells around everyone. It sucks. It's actually making it worse.
Not better.
Yeah, it's making things worse.
And,
People are so offended.
And let me ask you this from like, I guess, a societal question. If you call everyone a racist, if you call this guy a racist, or you call, everyone a racist, and you throw that term around so often.
Yes.
And the guy who makes a funny joke 8 years ago, or the Kevin Harts of the world or something like that, are called a racist for something as mild as that, and they're lumped in as with the same people that are like burning crosses in the front lawns and like wearing, it's like, then you have taken away the meaning of, like, if we're all racist in that same way, then the guy who is, like, I don't know, beating people because of the color of their skin or something like that, it's like, in a way, you're kind of like, you've lumped me in with that guy,
Yeah, no, they're making it, again, you have to I hate. Okay, you want to hear something funny? We're on that survivalist show coming out. Actually, we found the date, February 2nd.
Oh,
right?
February 2nd. Okay,
February 2nd.
Put it on our calendar.
It's on the BYU TV schedule, and it shows our name and everything. And it says the Loggers want to disconnect from their podcasts and connect directly with their family or something like that.
Except for they couldn't fit I think what took so long to get this on the air is they couldn't figure out how to spell your name. It was too long and it couldn't fit in the description, and that delayed production.
You're partially right, because the editors were probably editing out Colin O'Brady saying it wrong 75 times, which I hope there's an outtake reel. It's not like it's a big deal. I'm used to it every time, but it was so funny of seeing him say it right once and then wrong like 3 seconds later.
They probably did a what is it called? AD. Oh shoot. Where they record it later? ADR
post production.
Well, they were doing post. It's when they do the audio voiceover. They do it a lot in commercials or whatever. Anyways, they probably had him go back and have to go in a studio and just say it over and over again, and then they drop those recordings in.
I'm sure, but knowing that show is coming out on February 2nd, knowing that it's a family show, knowing that's on BYU TV, knowing that I said the word beer, and they said, "Can we do that again?" I've been like very nice online. I'm trying not to go too far one side or the other, trying not to get mad or do anything like that, because if this show does something good for the family,
beer, and they really had a problem with it.
Well, not a problem. He just said, okay, family show, let's say something else besides what you're going to do now. I said, well, I'll probably cut back on the beer a little bit. And they said, nah. Wow. I'm like, well, I'll cut back on the tacos a little bit.
No. Nice. Okay.
But knowing that's coming out, I've been like super gentle online, because if the show does anything for the platform and stuff, I don't want people to think I'm a bigot or an asshole. I'm sure they'll find it.
Oh, well, you'll eventually find that out, but you want them to be trapped and suckered in first.
Yeah, no, I want to get the followers first, because once you're the followers, they don't go away.
Yeah.
Even if they hate you, they follow you even more.
Then they hate follow you, which is that's what my family does as I walk around the house. They just hate follow me from room to room. I did want to get your thoughts on something. We had talked on our end of the year episode. We did our top movies of the year, top shows of the year, and all that. We went through a bunch. And one of the ones that I had recommended, in fact, it was my number one movie of the year, you actually watched with Evelyn, and I kind of wanted to know your thoughts on it. It was Palm Springs.
Yeah, we actually watched it before the finale. I just forgot about it, to tell you the truth.
Oh, really? You did?
Yeah. I had seen it before. I didn't want to tell you after I texted you that, but yeah, I saw it before, and I liked it. It was one of those movies. It reminded me a little bit about, and it's totally different, but the internal something spotless mind with Jim Carrey. And
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
Yeah, I felt like some of the cinematography and the storytelling was kind of similar to that when it came down to it. But other than that, it was one of those movies where I could watch it and just escape and not have to worry about anything else. It's a fun movie. It wasn't necessarily on my top 5 or 10 because Andy Samberg's great and all, but that's about it. I'm just a little biased. It's like if it's Will Ferrell. I'm not a huge fan of his, so I don't like his movies aren't my top 10.
You've mentioned that before. So anyways, I was just curious. I think the other thing that's coming up culturally and in the zeitgeist of our United States, or actually not so United States at the moment, is football. It is that time of the year where football becomes playoff football, which is like a whole nother season. I mean, there's really like 2 seasons in football. There's regular season and playoffs, because it's like just so different from each other. And I was going to go through some of these and get your picks. And I was thinking we should keep track of the picks.
Okay, I'll write them down.
You see who does better on these picks. First off, I'm going to start with the NFC. We have the New Orleans Saints facing the Chicago Bears. I'm going to go with the Saints in that game. What are you going to go with?
Hold on, I'm writing stuff down. Saints Bears at the Saints, 140 start. I'm gonna go Saints on that one too.
Yeah, Chicago Bears were lucky they got in the playoffs, but they are kind of a hot team, so you never know. But I'm gonna go with the Saints as well. Number 3, this is a big one for you. Or number 2, this is a big one for you. Your Seattle Seahawks with a 12-4 record, playing the Los Angeles Rams, who kind of was struggling down the end of the season there. And I think the Rams are going to be down their quarterback, or he's at least injured. So if he comes back, he won't be at 100%.
Yeah, he won't be at 100%, but I don't think they need him that much because they're going to lose anyway. So I'm going with the Seahawks. Obviously, it is at home. There's no 12th man, but it is. They did win the first game. We did win the second game, but the last couple games that we played, we've been showing that we're there. So hopefully we'll kick the shit out of them.
Honestly, I would have picked the Rams in kind of an upset if Goff was at 100%, just because I do think that Seattle has some struggles in certain areas at times. But this being the case, and it's a home game, I'm actually going to have to go with Seattle as well. And it's a shame, certain teams that are known for their fans, whether it's the 12th man in Seattle or the fans of like Kansas City Chiefs, or in baseball, certain baseball teams, when they, like, you have the Tampa Bay Rays, a team that's been waiting forever to make the play, or the Dodgers finally make the freaking World Series and no one can go to the game, and all of these things. So it's just one of the, I really feel for the Seattle fans who can't go to the game even though their team, what if the team wins the Super Bowl and yet no one was actually able to see them live this year?
Yeah, right. Nobody can go. No, the only thing about this game is if the Seahawks do lose, because I know how the world works and we always play down when we play the Rams, and it's really a close game all the time. But if they do lose, I will be rooting for the Rams, because it would be really dope to see the Dodgers, Lakers, and Rams win all in one year. I think that would be pretty cool. But that's the only reason I'd root for them.
And my wife predicted it. She said over a year ago, she said, watch, we're going to move to Texas and all of the home sports teams are finally going to win something. And so we moved to Texas, and sure enough, Lakers win, Dodgers win, and it's like, wow, if the Rams win, or shoot, what if like the Kings in hockey win, or the USC wins the championship next year in football? I mean, I don't know. That's weird.
So you're picking Seahawks too?
I am going to pick Seahawks too. I think that's just too much to overcome for the Rams. The next game is the Washington football team playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay is 11-5 and Washington is 7-9, but Washington is actually going to be the one hosting this game because they won their division. And it's going to be the first time Tom Brady has ever had to play as a wild card in his career.
Yes. And it's the first time Tampa Bay's been in the playoffs for a while too. So it's kind of like, it wasn't.
And they're a feel-good story because the coach has cancer. Alex Smith is like the comeback player of the year and what he's been through health-wise. So you got some nice storyline there, and everyone loves to hate Tom Brady. I'm going to go ahead and go with Tampa Bay on this one. I think I'm going to pick them. I'm going to pick Tampa Bay to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Oh, wow. Are you?
Yeah, I think I am.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see how that goes for you. You know what? I also... You know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to pick Washington. Alex Smith's back. He's healthy. He's going to play this week. You can't count that guy out.
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, the guy, you know what? And honestly, I'm kind of actually rooting for that because I think it's just such a good story. But let's go to the AFC. You got Buffalo Bills playing the Indianapolis Colts. And Buffalo was one of the top.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Top teams this season, kind of, I guess, behind Kansas City.
Yeah.
And Colts kind of barely made it in, but the Colts are still 11-5, so they're still a good team. Who you got?
This one's kind of a toss up for me, but I'm going to go for the Bills, because I think that they just had more games where they beat their opponent by a ton. So they kind of had more blowouts, So, I mean, the Colts, they'll put up a fight probably, but I think being the home Bills in the playoffs for a while, it'll be nice.
I'd love to be a contrarian and pick opposite of you, but I think we're like-minded here. I'm picking the Bills. In fact, I'm picking the Bills to also make the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be Buffalo versus Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl.
All right, I'm writing this down. Hold on, I gotta.
All right, and then you can tell me your Super Bowl picks at the end here too. The next game though is Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. Talk about a team who has not been to the playoffs since I wore baggy pants and had bleached tips and wore puka shells.
Yeah, it was like what, 2001, 2002.
No, it's like 1999 or something like that. I think is the last, or something like that. I don't know, but it's been a long ass time.
It has been a while. If not, that would be the team that I would be worried about, or not worried about, but like sad the most that their fans can't go to the game. I know they can have a few people there, but that city, remember when they left, Cleveland left and went to fucking Tennessee or something, or wherever they went?
Baltimore.
Yeah. Then the city rallied and made them bring a team back, and they were part of the expansion a few years later. So if any team can't go and see their team, or any fans can't go and see their team play, I feel bad for the Cleveland Browns because it is their first time in the playoffs for like 700 years, but they bought this team.
True.
And it's cool. And that's fine. At the end of the day, the way the deal works. But I don't
only do these people not to get to go to the games, but then they also have to still live in Cleveland, which is also a punishment.
Yes, and that's why they fought for the team. but honestly, I think this is going to be one of those things like in early 2000s, 2001, 2002, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, they bought their World Series team. And then the year after, they haven't done shit since. Since then. So you know what I mean? So I think the Cleveland Browns, this is their chance to do that. And I think in football, it's a little different. I think that it's going to take them a few years to get there. But I think this is the team that's going to buy them the championship within the next 5 years.
Do you who are you picking between them and Pittsburgh?
Bills. Or no, the Browns.
Browns. So this is one where different. I think that the Cleveland's a better team, but I think Pittsburgh's going to at least win one playoff game. So I think this is going to be it. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Steelers on this one.
I don't think so. I think Cleveland's going to take it. I think that they are so hungry, and the thing about Roethlisberger, he's so accident prone. If he gets hurt at all, Pittsburgh's done. They don't have a choice.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, the final game is the Tennessee Titans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Two teams that moved, by the way. The Tennessee Titans moved from Houston when they were the Oilers, and the Baltimore Ravens used to be the Cleveland Browns. They are both 11-5, and I'm going to go with Baltimore, even though Tennessee's run attack is amazing with what's his face, the running back. But I just think Lamar Jackson at Baltimore is going to wind up pulling this one out.
Yeah, no, and this is another one where we're gonna agree because Lamar Jackson is ready. He's hungry. He's gonna do this. I know Tennessee, like you said, their run game's good. Their defense is pretty damn good too. But I think that Baltimore's experience and the coaching staff with Harbaugh is just gonna take them through this game.
All right, so who do you have as your two Super Bowl teams? We didn't mention the Chiefs and the Packers because they both have byes, but who do you think is going to make it?
So you don't think the Chiefs or the Packers are going to be in the Super Bowl?
No. Gosh, I mean, those are going to be really good teams, and I think they're formidable. And you could definitely pick Chiefs, Packers versus each other. But no, I think I kind of like going with some upsets. Buffalo wouldn't really be too much of a surprise. They're the number 2 team. I think Tampa Bay would be a surprise, and I think they're going to pull it off between Saints being injured, Bears barely sneaking in, Seattle's having offensive troubles, the Rams have the hurt quarterback, Washington football team is named the Washington football team. Everyone in the NFC has issues. Everyone in the NFC has issues. I think Tampa Bay's playing hot right at the right time, and they have Tom Brady trying. I have a feeling Tom Brady wins one and then rides off into the sunset because he'll prove that Belichick was like, it wasn't just Belichick, it was him too. So that's why I'm going to Tampa Bay, but I think it's gonna be Tampa Bay versus the Buffalo Bills.
No, that's a good selection. I would say, see, the NFC is going to be the hardest one for me to pick because I want to pick with my heart and
Well,
my.
you're going with your heart. Yeah.
Yeah, but so the AFC I'll cover right away. I think the Chiefs are going to go back in there. No, I don't think Patrick Mahomes can be matched at all on the field right now. He's so diverse. If you're going to mess with his run game, he'll throw the ball. If you're going to mess with his throw game, he'll run the ball. Personally, he'll run the fucking ball.
Yeah,
so
personally.
I think that he can't be beat. Now, when it comes to the NFC, I'm a little torn because I do love the Seahawks, but we always play like shit when it comes to the playoffs, late in the playoffs. So I think we're going to make it late in the playoffs. We'll beat the Rams. The Rams will be gone. Washington football team, they're done. Bears, they're out. I think that it's going to come down to a Packers, Saints, Buccaneers, Seahawks Final Four. And then I think it's going to be, and this is where I have to choose with my head, not my heart. I think it's going to be a Bucks Packers NFC championship, but I don't know where it's going to go from there. So if you give me one more week, I'll give you a better answer, but
because one of your teams might get eliminated. That's
no, the Packers are still, well, yeah, I don't think Tampa Bay is going to lose, but I don't think the Bucks are going to win. So I'm going to go Chiefs Packers.
Chiefs Packers. So you're going with the 2 number 1 seeds, which, by the way, is I'll be honest. I think it's probably the more likely scenario that pick, but I was trying to go a little under the radar. But anyway, I think it's gonna be fun to see, and I'm excited about this year's playoffs.
Here's the one team that I think is going to be a hidden kind of come through underdog in a sense, which they're not an underdog. They're 12-4. The Saints. I think the Saints are on a roll. I don't think you're going to be able to fuck with them for a couple games.
And, you know, if Drew Brees is another one, just like Tom Brady, that I think if he wins, he just rides off into the sunset and says, I got my one more and all that. So, no, you're right there. And, you know, past few years, I had really, I don't want to say been ignoring football because I still watch, but I mean, I haven't been as invested in it for, I guess, a myriad of reasons. But this year, I think with COVID and not really having much to do, and sometimes you just tell yourself, I just want to stay home and I don't want to go anywhere and whatever, it's kind of forced me to watch more football. So I'm definitely more invested in this year's playoffs and excited for it.
So who's your team?
I don't have a team. I mainly have teams that I hate. I typically tend to root, because I don't have a team, I tend to root for individual players. So for most of my teenage years, my team was the Green Bay Packers, not because I like Green Bay, but I love Brett Favre. Brett Favre was my favorite football player, along with Barry Sanders.
Yeah,
but I couldn't bring myself to root for the freaking Lions because they're the losingest team of all time. But yeah, but then as soon as Brett Favre left, I didn't remain a Packers fan. So I kind of bounce around based on where players are. I kind of like how Tom Brady pisses everyone off. So I kind of am rooting for Tom Brady a little bit. But I don't really root for the home team kind of thing in football. I don't really have a team. I just have teams that I hate.
Okay, well, if you're going to watch more football and we're going to talk about it more, you have to pick a team after this year.
Damn it. Okay, I think I could do that.
I don't think that's a team.
How often are you allowed to switch teams, though? Can I be a year-to-year bandwagon guy, or do I have to have a team that I root for every year, regardless of their record?
No, I like the bandwagon thing.
Okay, good. Good, because now in baseball, I'm tried and true diehard Angels fan till I die kind of thing. But man, when it comes to football, I kind of blow with the wind a little bit. I kind of like the certain style of a certain team. I'm like, ooh, I kind of like those guys now. And then I really don't like Baker Mayfield, so he just rubs me the wrong way. So I'm totally rooting for him to throw 3 interceptions and flame out in the playoffs, right? Just because on national stage would be great. So I more have people I hate or teams I hate.
Well, I would have thought you would have liked the Rams, considering they used to play back in Anaheim Stadium back in the day.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to dig on the Rams, Eric Dickerson and a few of those. But modern day stuff, no. Maybe if they went back and did the throwback jerseys, because those jerseys are freaking awesome. Yeah, the ones from the '80s. But no.
That's funny you say Dickerson. When I went to when the Rams first came back to LA, they were in the Coliseum and went to the very first game. It was against the Seahawks. It was we had Chili Peppers perform before it. It was a huge thing. We came out of the parking structure that we were in, because we had some really good parking, walked right up and literally bumped into Eric Dickerson. And he was being followed by people and cameras and stuff. So it was quite hilarious. That was the first thing I had an experience when I went to an LA Rams game. It's kind of cool.
Okay, before we go and end for the day, it's been a while since we've done an SMRT, and I have one that I'd like to bring up.
I am too smart. I am too smart. SMRT. I mean SMART.
All right, SMRT, in case you need to be reminded, because it is a new year, maybe you forgot, but it is our stories of dumb people doing dumb things. Usually it involves getting arrested in some sort of way, and it almost always involves Florida because, Florida. And today's story is because, I figure if we're starting off the year, the first one of the year, I gotta do a Florida guy, right? Like, I mean, I got to start the year off right. So I specifically wanted to find a Florida-based story. And here it is.
Okay.
A man jailed. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I absolutely hate the writer who wrote this. This is someone trying to be funny and cutesy and whatever as they write the article. So as I read it, as I read it, I'm going to want to punch this guy in the face more. But here's how it starts. So, man jailed after snoring loudly at McDonald's. Indian River County, Florida. A 28-year-old man was arrested after snoring loudly and apparently sleeping behind. Okay, once again, we're going to start off first sentence, and I'm already pissed off. He was snoring loudly and apparently sleeping. Gee, you think he was sleeping and snoring? News breaking. You mean he wasn't wide awake snoring, you freaking idiot? And he had to use apparently sleeping because it was like he can't commit to it. Like this guy, yes, he was snoring loudly because he was asleep. I can state that as a fact, you freaking idiot. God, I hate this guy already. Okay, behind the wheel in the McDonald's drive-thru, the case of the dozing dude, see, hate this guy, began at 3:47 a.m. December 20th when Indian River County Sheriff's Department went to a McDonald's, blah, 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 for a suspicious vehicle. The deputy spied the man in the Ford pickup truck parked in the drive-thru lane, snoring loudly. Okay, this next paragraph, the writer decides to describe to you what snoring means.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yeah. Snoring is the hoarse or harsh sound that occurs when air flows past relaxed tissues in your throat, causing the tissues to vibrate as you breathe, according to the Mayo Clinic website. So this guy literally saw that there was a story about a man snoring, went to Wikipedia and took the very first line, cut and pasted.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So continuing on down. Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay, no. Okay, I have a couple questions, and you don't have to elaborate if you're because you're still getting there. But he was in the drive-thru in his car. Mm-hmm. I heard that right?
Yes, in his car, asleep snoring. Sleep snoring, by the way, not awake snoring. I just want to make that clear.
Okay, yeah, of course not.
Yeah, because that would just be silly. It says the man was sleeping in the drive-thru. Oh my God, I hate this guy. See, I can't even read ahead because I want to punch this guy. Let me try and start that sentence all over. All right. The man was sleeping in the drive-thru as opposed to Sleeping with the Enemy, a 1991 movie starring Julia Roberts.
Shut up. That was in the article?
Yes, I'm telling you, I want to punch this. Oh, wait. Here's the very next line. McDonald's does not have a sleep-through lane. It's only a drive-through lane.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the man woke up when the deputy was there and asked for his license. The man said, I don't have one. And the truck reeked of booze and his speech was slurred. So they go down and basically this guy told investigators he had about 8 beers on the drive home, not before he drove home, on the drive home, and decided to stop and get McDonald's because he was hungry, couldn't make it all the way through, and fell asleep halfway through the drive-thru without even fully putting in an order.
Okay. All right.
8 beers on the drive. That's impressive. I actually am impressed.
It's probably a long drive, but
I don't know. I guess maybe, but 8 beers, dude, I don't care if you're driving 800 miles. If you're having 1 beer every 100 miles, that's still a lot of beer.
Okay. So let's dissect this a little bit because there's a whole bunch of shit going wrong here. One, the guy referenced a movie in his write-up.
Oh my gosh. Let me read it to you one more time so that you can hear it clearly.
Okay.
The man was sleeping in the drive-thru as opposed to Sleeping with the Enemy, a 1991 movie starring Julia Roberts. McDonald's does not have a sleep-through lane.
Wow. Okay, fire this guy. Where'd you get this? Huffington Post or something? Okay,
No, it's the Tampa Bay City Palm Gazette or something like that. It does say where we could follow this guy on Twitter. I'm almost thinking about following him on Twitter so I could tell him what a horribly written article this was and then just unfollow him.
Well, my biggest question is why'd he bury the lead?
The guy was drunk.
Yeah, not
yes. Drunk driver gets arrested at McDonald's isn't as much of an attention grabber as man arrested for snoring loudly.
It is. It totally is. I want to know what this drunk guy's doing at McDonald's. The fact that he was in the drive-through is boring as hell. I figured at least he was like in a booth, homeless. But no, some drunk guy.
In my Jesus, I don't know how drunk I would have to be to pick McDonald's. Like, were there
Seriously.
other? I want to know a few things. Were there other options?
Taco Bell.
Did this guy only have McDonald's as a choice, or did he say, "Yum yum yum, I want some McDonald's in my tum"? I mean, which was it? Because I don't ever anticipate being that hungry. If you picked me up like the movie with Tom Hanks, Castaway, and you got me off the island finally, and you got me on the plane, and I'm flying home, and you say, "Eric, I have a Big Mac for you," I'd say, "No, I'm cool. I'll wait."
And then you'd probably jump out of the plane, honestly, knowing you.
Okay, so let's say you do make it to McDonald's. It's 3 a.m. You've had your 8 beers. Chris Donovan is waiting there.
What do you order?
Ready to order. You decided to go to McDonald's. You're pulling the freaking trigger. You're just doing it.
I think it's a 24-hour thing. I think it's a 24-hour thing that he had to choose McDonald's because there wasn't anything else open.
Okay, so you're there. What are you ordering with 8 beers in your stomach and you're ready to fall asleep? What are you ordering from McDonald's?
I hate that place.
I'm
I'm a value menu guy, so I probably would have got like 3 McDoubles and 3 McChickens, and then called it good.
I would have done a 6-piece chicken nugget with barbecue sauce. And I would have asked if they're making breakfast because I want those little rounded hash browns.
Oh.
And then I would have done like a McFlurry dessert and then just ate that until I passed out in the McDonald's drive-thru like this guy.
I think you might have thrown up first because all of that combined probably wouldn't have hit the stomach well on top of 8 beers. And that's on the drive home. He probably
it even says in the article, he specified I did all of this on the drive home or on the drive. I drank the beers on the drive.
And then they count how many are in the back seat and there's 32. Because he stopped 7 times to drink more.
Yeah, this guy was they buried the lead. Guy was pass out, blackout drunk, decided to try and hit a McDonald's. He was making poor decisions. He got rightfully arrested, by the way. Yeah. And it had nothing to do with the fact that he was snoring too loudly. I'm sure that even the people that called the cops weren't saying, "Please come, cops, a man is snoring loudly." I'm sure they said, "Yeah, there's a guy passed out drunk in the McDonald's drive-thru." Like, that's even how it was called in. I mean, I'm almost positive.
Had to have been, but if it was called in, this guy was snoring really loud. I want to hear those tapes. I want to. They record everything.
Police body cam footage. Yeah, forget the body cam footage of when the cops shoot that poor black man with no weapon in his hand. I think the real imperative thing is we need to get this tape out that shows this guy recording a snoring McDonald's person. I think that's a more important tape to get out to the public.
Okay, one last question about this story before we take too much away from it. Do you think he was going to order a coffee?
For some reason, people seem to like McDonald's coffee.
I know, but he's been drinking 8 beers.
God, I would think, wouldn't he have to pee like crazy? Was he wet? Did he wet himself?
Oh, he might have. Oh, that would have been a better headline. That would have been a way better headline, man. Man pisses himself in McDonald's drive-thru.
He pissed himself. Yeah. Police were called because man was snoring loudly and pissing himself is a much better headline. There's no way he kept that in. There's no way this guy stopped, pissed on the side of the road, got back in, kept driving, whatever, because he would have passed out somewhere else. The fact that he made it to the McDonald's means this was the end. He just couldn't make it any farther. He figured, you're right. Maybe he's like, I got to get some coffee, got to get whatever. But I'm willing to bet, I'd bet $100 that this guy pissed himself. Is there any way we can call this horrible reporter and not only tell him that he's horrible, but tell him we want him to dig in and do a full exclusive on the story? And we want to know, was there piss or no piss?
Reach out to him. Tell him we want to interview him for the podcast, and then we can make fun of him when he's on here. He won't review it and listen to it and know what he's talking about. But I'll
tell him, sir, you are a jackass. Also a movie from 2007 starring Johnny Knoxville.
And a sequel 2 years later called Jackass 2.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, no, I was gonna say, I grab him, ask him for an interview. Damn it, I had something I was gonna say. What was it? Hold on 1 second. Wait for it. Oh, yeah. How old was the guy?
28 years old.
Oh shit, I was gonna say he's wearing a diaper, but no, he pissed himself.
Yeah, he pissed himself. I mean, I feel so confident saying it that I'd be willing to bet just about any amount of money. This guy pissed himself.
Yeah, and he definitely picked McDonald's because there were lack of options, or he's poor.
Right, like there was probably like some Chick-fil-A or like In-N-Out or something that's like right across the way, and he's like, "Damn it, the lights are off. I guess I got to go to McDonald's."
Yeah, right. He's probably like, "Well, I only got like $6. I can get like 5 double cheeseburgers for that. I should probably go there."
Anyways, well, it's good to start off the year with Florida, man.
Is it?
Everyone should go to thisisfunner.com and sign up to do your own podcast, because it can be this fun for you too. And be on the lookout for Listen to This, which is coming out season 4 soon. By the way, where are those Listen to This promos? I haven't heard them, but then again, I've been off kind of not listening to podcasts in a while. But
then again, I haven't remembered about them, so I'll put them in shows now.
Yeah. Hey, remember that thing that we should have done? Yeah, let's do that. But yeah,
that being
please
said,
go and please put together a podcast. There's so many great things coming out, and we said it before, but this is the time to do it. Everyone has thoughts in their head that they want to get out and they want to do, and just record in a podcast. It's way more fun than cursing to yourself in your closet as your family secretly hates you.
And that would be a really fun podcast too. So record that and we could publish that stuff. But before we go, I have a really, really serious question for you. I started my 2021 really shitty. Do you know what lashes for days is in Texas? Because I have 4 charges from $95 each from that place.
Lashes for days?
Something like that.
Are you sure this wasn't like a whips company that like you were ordering some sort of S&M thing? Or
nah, somebody stole my Apple Pay or some shit and charged $400.
It's a makeup place. It's like one of those expensive makeup places, and they have a few locations out here. Yeah, I've seen them as I've driven around.
So it was you.
So it probably was me, but then again, I was drunken at a McDonald's drive-thru, so you can't hold me responsible.
I guess, man. All right. Well, you and Hilaria Baldwin can go hang out.
I know, right?
February 2nd, my show is going to be on Survivalist BYU TV. Check it out. Thisisfunner.com, like he said. Chris_Donovan is my handle on Twitter. You can follow him at Sinatra's Rat Pack. He's got a couple books that you can check out also on our website.
A couple of books.
And I'm reading it. I'm on chapter 3 of Hookers and Blow or something. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I mean, you're reading about 1 chapter a year. So this is probably the most book reading material you've done, I think, since high school.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you next week with more hilarity and probably more, I don't know, if Florida. The nation survives and we all don't burn to the ground. We'll talk to you next week.
That'll be fun, but I'm going to go buy my raccoon hat and paint my face and run around with the Trump flag.
Yes, do it. All right, talk to you later, everybody.
Catch you later.
Is the slum out of my head? I think so. Is the slum out of my head?
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.